Luckily, my talk will be in general, like the project presented by our friend from Niger. It's about science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to develop for development of Cambodia. And the message of my presentation is to show that the government now realize the importance of science, technology, and innovations to avoid to become a country with in the trap of middle income trap, like some of the countries neighboring Cambodia. But also, the message is to show that, relating to the history of Cambodia also, that now agriculture only is the backbone of Cambodia, and it is now time to transform from agricultural state country to high technology state country. Short about Cambodia is located between Thailand and Vietnam, and on the north with Laos, and it has an area of 181 square kilometers with a population of about 15.5 million people. If we look at the population chart, we'll see that there's an impact of the history where the groups here with the age of 30 to 34 are the group of people who was born during the genocide war of Pol Pot in 1975 to 1977, 9. And that's why the group of these people are very low. And we also consider that the people with the age of 50 to 54 are also considered low, because these are the group where at the wartime was old enough to work hard in the farm, and also suffering directly from the killing of the regime. So where we can see here in the middle, the three groups here are the children below 14 and 15, and the babies now become the age of 40 something. We also consider the explosion of the population after the war in 1980 until now, and that's why the average age of Cambodia is now 24 only, which is now needed to be educated and provide skillful training to guide Cambodia in the near future. Cambodia is based on agriculture, as I told you. Here's the 34.7 agriculture the income is from agriculture, and the next is industry, garment industry mainly, and also construction industry, and service, mainly tourism and health. And we also consider that the scaring number of the labor forces in Cambodia, it's more than 8.8 million, of a population of 15 million only. And this needs the governments now to have a change in the policy and strategy. The labor forces is divided into mainly into three. More than 50% of them goes into agriculture, where they do farms, and other forces goes to industry, garment industry, and construction industry, and the rest are services. So based on these facts, the government now wants to transform itself, Cambodia, from agricultural state to high technology state, with the problems and the challenges as shown here. You see that recently that it's quite a very young generation, very young population in Cambodia. So we have to reduce the number of job-related agriculture. In what way? This is a challenge, and perspective is unclear. We have to provide them a clearer perspective if they choose another field beside agriculture. But later on, you will see why it comes to also to agriculture. The structure must be changed, which means infrastructure in general in Cambodia, technological, economical, where the salary must be rise up. Teachers are now earning less than $200 a month. Of course, social and political plays a big role. Education, of course, is the main concern. And the government now start to reform the curriculum in all levels, and particularly focusing on mathematics and computer science because it is the motor to become a country with technology and innovation driven. The demand as well for this, it's demand for teachers, well-educated teachers, and leading in education and research, especially again in mathematics and computer science. Research, especially, we know that it's a must, and for Cambodia as a developing country, we need international partners, international networks to support and to create projects and programs, especially PhD programs, which we do not have in Cambodia. Right now, we have only masters. There are universities with PhD program, but with very low quality. So the flagship university, like Royal University of Phnom Penh, is actually happy not to provide PhD right now because we're concerned about the quality. And also a chance to get a job is very important. We have to identify the aims for technologies and science providing to the students, because after their study, they must have a job. They must have a job based on their studies and their skills trained during the university time. And of course, resources must be provided and concept that is linked to the curriculum starting from kindergarten to the primary school and higher education, so that when they reach university, they will have the certain background, so that we don't start from basic mathematics again. This is still a problem. We see here the explosion of interest of students, of enrollment into higher education. Bachelor level, we see that it's more than a double from the year of 2004 until now, 2012. And we see also that the master degree is comparatively very low, and almost no doctoral students enrolled there. And if, like I said, then it's only the private sectors, university, that they only focus on money and income for the university. If we look at the undergraduates training distribution by fields, we see that for now, most of them in undergraduate training level only focusing on business administration, because and also foreign language, because these provide them a good job opportunities in NGOs or in private companies, where importance a field like basic science, which includes mathematics, IT is only 8% and engineering 3%. If you look closer to higher degrees, it reduces by degrees. You see here, engineering only 1%, and basic science 1%, and the main focus is rather economics management, so they can be involved in the private sectors and companies. Doctoral, almost zero. You see 0.8, and IT only 0.1%. So it's very difficult to motivate now. It's a big challenge to motivate students to come to innovations and technology. Here are the companies that are available in Cambodia that may provide jobs for students. We have about 400 companies, small companies. Some are very small, but also counted, and they may provide a position for students to, for freshmen to work with. But the most companies provide hardware only, which is not for IT, computer science, mathematics freshmen. If you see the salary here, almost 80% of the fresh graduate students are working with a salary with lower than 200, and only 21% provides up to 500 a month, and none of them almost get 800 US dollars. The percentage percentage of fresh graduate students hiring by companies, they're focusing mainly on students coming from IT, from college and universities, and intermediate level or qualified students with work experience only. So know-how, high-level know-how is not needed, in fact, for companies. And by target field, they're focusing on computer science mainly, and IT information, and computer engineering, software engineering. The status of Cambodia is here shown, the blue circle is between middle and low quality IT human resources, and we expect to come to become a country with a high quality human resources, where we can independently develop software and hardware for exports. This is a dream, in fact. This enrollment of students in RUPP in IT field, we see that it also increases by years, starting from 2007 to 2013. So we have to be prepared for the mass of students. One of our well-known master program at RUPP, well-known in Cambodia, provides these three fields only: development, software development, networking engineering, and multimedia science area, modeling, computer simulation, and visualization. And these have been created based on very much on the support of our partners, overseas partners, which is IWR. Uni Heidelberg plays a very big role recently, having exchange students, training team leaders, and promoting master, and hopefully later on PhD programs. And we also have a knowledge transfer and joint pilot projects. We also have regional partners, especially Thailand and Vietnam, and we hope to extend it in the next years. Another partners are also industry and NGO. They come to university to have internship and professional trainings. These are the existing work we have done. From 2009, we continue working on computational humanities and cultural heritage, where our partners from Germany comes to Cambodia, and here's as an example, Banti Chma Temple of Banti Minjay in Cambodia, where part of the walls, sandstone walls, huge sandstone walls, are located at the side of the temple, and the other part was looted, and the government got back to the museum in Phnom Penh. So there's no chance, beside computer technologies, to reconstruct them to become a whole like this. So something like such projects can be a very good start for collaboration and to motivate students that IT and computer science is very, very important also in cultural heritage. Recently, since 2002, we have this World Bank award, World Bank project, which the money comes 50% from the World Bank and 50% from the government. And our project was on mathematical modeling, simulation, and optimization in science and engineering. And we organized twice a year workshops where our partners from Germany, Thailand, hopefully this year also from Thailand, to come exchange their experiences. Another program is also the ICOMS, where Southeast Asian partners comes together, and I think this year will be again in November. So what is needed to help is to find a concept for development of Cambodia, to find the area, to find the problems, local problems, where computer science and mathematics can support. And this must be discussed in a broader group with expertise from abroad, our partners, international partners, so that they have more experience on such occasions, such as conditions like Cambodia, where to begin, so that the students, when they come out, they will have a chance for the job. And to identify the area, this is to identify the area which Cambodia has a chance to survive in international competitions, because later on we will be as ASEAN, part in ASEAN, and this must be prepared from now, also in the research field. We have to promote vocational perspective for young students that are facing to drop their studies also in high school, but also in university, because they cannot follow, or they lost interest. And normally these are the reason why the workforces are increasing, because they drop and then they go to a workforce in industry, construction, or go to the field to do farm. We have to plan and realize educational concept and bridging all levels. Like I told you, that the government now started to survey and looking for problems that occur, why the students after their PhD, after their university, why they cannot be accepted in the companies to work, and it is now trained to be trainable, is the focus of the government, and then we can secure some of the work for them. And lastly, I think I think this event is very sure concerning the young generations, and to drag attention to them. And thank you very much for your attention.